It's a sick fucking gym, man. Skulls.
Yes.
I've got my shitty garage gym, but I still love it. So.
Oh, bro, this is my garage gym, man.
Yeah.
It started somewhere, man. Like,
Yeah,
fucking,
100%.
I remember, I used to have a warehouse just down the road.
Yeah.
Because I was a Sparky once upon a time. I was in the industry for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
And then after COVID happened, I was like, man, I didn't get vaccinated and I lost a lot of contracts with work. And I was just like, just had a moment in my life where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It makes you overthink, eh?
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
And I was playing football for up until COVID.
Yeah.
So 2019 was the last year I played. I went to do the pre-season for 2020. And then that year got called off.
Yeah.
And then I had that entire year off and I was like, came back to 2021. I'm like, nah, I'm not interested anymore, man. How much further can I get with this?
Yeah.
I'm loving it because the boys, but I always had an inclination that I want to get into coaching. So I said to my coach, look, I'm done. I'm not going to play anymore. And he goes to me, bro, like, what do you mean? Like, you can't just leave. Like, what are you going to do?
Fuck.
Like, you're too big of an impact at the club for you to just leave. I hadn't really thought about what I was going to do. I just made the decision just like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, why don't you just help me out coaching?
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another.
Now you're doing it.
And now I'm here where I'm at. But I don't even know where the fuck I was going with this, but fuck, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, so I started coaching at my my warehouse gym and then I don't know what's next. Obviously I'm trying to build the online space, so I'm not really heavily pushing and opening up a gym. I'm not really interested in that.
Yeah.
I think my brother's gonna move more towards that. But yeah, that's where it's at, man.
Yeah. Fuck.
But from the religious standpoint, man, because you came here to see your priest.
Yeah.
So you grew up in a church in Sydney?
Yeah, I grew up at the cathedral in like the archdiocese in Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where's that exactly?
In a place called Redfern. Do you know Redfern? Like near where all the unis are. Like Sydney.
I've never been to Sydney, bro.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually dating a bird from Sydney.
Oh, really? There you go.
She's here studying.
Oh, I bet.
But yeah, I've never been, so
Yeah.
I don't know geographically where things are.
Yeah, so it's in this place called Redfern next to a massive park. I'm just trying to think of what else like near there that you might know of. Like it's not far from the city, for example. But,
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up there. Like my dad's he gives so much to the church. Like he was the president at that cathedral for like my whole life. So
Yep.
yeah, we grew up there and always just, you start off just going because, dad goes and, I want to be like dad, like as you would, which is why I started. But eventually you start to think about like, why am I going? Like, is this really for me? And then you go in and out of like, which is normal, I believe, like you go in and out of phases of like really strong faith and sometimes you'll be challenged and then you'll come back to it. So yeah, that's in and out where I go and, like I'm always down to help the church and whatever. And obviously this priest has made such a big impact that I'll travel wherever. Like wherever he is, I'll come because it's something different. Like some people just go to the church, they just rock up and it's just like an empty room and it's just, they rock up on Sunday because it's like routine or like I'm not someone like that. I'm not just doing something for a routine. Like there's got to be meaning behind it. So like, that's why it's such a big impact on my life. But yeah, I'd travel wherever he goes. Wherever he goes, I'm there,
So you just came to just catch up with him?
Yeah, pretty much. Just came to catch up with him, record some content. I've got some content creators around here that I know. Yep. Obviously some family, like Melbourne's full of Greeks. So
yeah,
I'll
massive.
Come meet all of them. Just go out and have a bit of fun. Yeah. But yeah, so it's good, man.
Yeah, so like my religion, because I'm obviously Greek Orthodox too, but like I was much the same. Like I grew up across the road from Ale Dimitriou, which is in Paran, Windsor. Yep. My grandmother had a house there, and I grew up for the first 5-6 years of my life just spending time with her because my parents were just working full time. So that was literally like my daycare, Monday to Friday. Monday you yaz, parents pick me up Friday night. Yeah. And she was a hectic churchgoer.
Yeah.
Like, not just on Sundays. Like, we'd go there Wednesdays to clean up.
Yeah.
There might be something on Monday where it's fucking, there's a little party there.
Yeah.
And there was a big Greek community there. Well, once upon a time. It still is, but not like it was way back in the day. But much like yourself, like, you get older. And back then, I couldn't be fuck going.
Yeah.
I remember, like, a young cracking at me because I just wanted to play GTA.
Yeah.
And she's like, you got to come to church. I'm like, fuck that shit. I didn't get it, bro. I'm like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
But I had a turn in, religion, and I went through, obviously, like, your rebellious stage of your life where, you don't give a fuck about anything. And then I got asked to be a best man at my mate's wedding. And obviously within that religion, if you're the best man, you take on board the godfather role of the firstborn.
Yeah.
And long and behold, he had his firstborn son, Nico, and I baptized him. And that was 2021, something around there, 2022. And I thought, fuck, if I'm going to take on that role, I better know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's when I really started to embrace the religion on another level. Because obviously our role is to be the religious figure for the child, for the parents. You do all that sort of stuff. So I embraced that, and I actually went to Mount Athos last year.
Really? That's a big goal of mine. Like,
so,
that's where I want to go.
Bro,
Yeah.
highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. I only did a 1-day trip.
Yeah.
You can do times where you can spend multiple nights, stay for weeks, for example. Mine was like a very last minute. I was in Greece last year and I was like, fuck, I don't know why I don't just go to Mount Athos. So I've sorted that out, which was, fuck, man. The best way I can explain it, man, it's like, people like say this escape the matrix sort of shit.
Yeah.
This is literally like an escape from the world, because you're stepping into an area that is literally embracing the medieval times.
Yeah.
Like, some of the monasteries there are 1,000+ years old.
Yeah.
And it's in its own governing body. Mount Athos. It's like, it's in Greece, but then it's like, how you probably know how does it work exactly?
Yeah. It's like a bit separate. I know, because it's funny. I actually had a priest order one of my ropes from there. So, and it had to go through like some weird process. Because they don't really have phones and stuff up there. They sort of like stay away from that.
That's what I'm saying. It's full
like
on, bro. Like, you got to apply to go.
Yeah.
So it's not like I just rock up. So, and that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I just thought, I'm just gonna drive there, and they're like, knock
walk in.
Mate, none of that. I sent an email. I got to apply. Sent my passport.
Yeah.
I got to ensure that I get a tour guide as well.
Yeah.
That's gonna guide me through it. So then you go to this thing and you sign this document. You get a discount if you're Orthodox. It's only like $10, but there's a whole process, bro.
Yeah.
You get there in the morning. So you drive to Urianopoli, which is about 2 hours out of Thessaloniki. It's on the first leg of Halkidiki. So you get to this small town. I met my tour guide there, and basically you jump on this boat. The boat takes you to the first monastery that we stopped at.
Yeah.
I think it was a Russian one, because there's 19 or 20 in total from memory. 17 or 16 are Greek.
Yeah.
2 Russian, and then 1 Ukrainian one. And bro, there's a fucking army officer there before you get on the boat. Just checking your passport, making sure everything's proper.
Yeah.
They only allow men.
Yeah.
There's only X amount of visitors per day. It's full proper. And then you rock up, man, and then you just got the monks there, and they're just like these guys that are living in this, like, it's almost like the Amish.
Yeah.
Living in this world that's running in parallel with what the fuck we got, but they wouldn't have a clue about what's going on. And all the monks that live in their own separate monasteries, they're all basically, it's up to them to upkeep their monastery. They all live off the land.
Yeah, I've heard you've got like chores, not chores if the word is right, but in the morning when you get there, you've got to like, you wake up, you're doing a lot of shit. And then it's like go to like a service, and then it's just like continual helping out, because that's all they have. It's just them
Correct.
Yeah, which
Correct.
is crazy to me. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty full on, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty full on. And when I saw that, actually the big touching moment for me was like with religion, you obviously go through periods where you're like, come on, man, as if this bullshit's real.
yeah,
Like you think
yeah.
that, you know?
Big time, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
And my only involvement with the religion was just going to Easter and you know, going with the others on Sunday,
which is common for a lot of like a lot of Greeks, as you know. Like,
Yeah.
I go to church very often now, as I always have. But like Easter and Christmas, there's like packed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the name for them in Melbourne is, but in Sydney,
What do you call them?
Or just like they're just like floaters, man. They're just,
Yeah.
Oh, come for Easter. And they rock up one day. Like I've got people who, you know how we get it on to bless the house or whatever?
Yep.
I've got people who do a drive-by. Like they drive by with their car and just go, oh, light
Done.
the candle, see you later, done. That's my Easter. I just couldn't imagine, like I've grown up in it, so I can't imagine that being my like association with it. I just can't, like it doesn't even process for me. It's like, why even do that?
Yeah, fuck. We are going to uncork some shit, man, because I've got a lot to embark on with that. But yeah, touching on that, I mean, it's pretty embarrassing, but at the same time, it's beautiful because I was having this conversation with an Egyptian girl who's Coptic, and they're very into their religion.
Yeah.
More so than what we are. It's not like that.
Agreed.
It's not like that we are not. Greeks are fucking proud.
Yeah.
Like, we are proud as fuck. I would honestly say that we are probably the most proud nation in the world.
Yeah.
But from a religious standpoint, I think we fall off the edge a little bit there. You know, we're proud about our history. We're proud about the Spartans. We're proud about our culture. But from a Christianity standpoint, I think we lack a lot. Like you say, people just rock up on the Friday night for the Epitaphios, Saturday. They do drive-bys. I've never even heard of that before.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
And it's just almost like, Ella, we're just rocking up for a social gathering as opposed to, you know, why are we actually here?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? What is the point? And I think that, I don't know, man, what's your take on that, man? Like, why do you think we're like that? Because we're killing it in one area.
Yeah.
And then here, it's not that it's bad, but it's not as good as it can be.
Yeah. So like my view on that, I chat with my sister a lot about this, but yeah, because we've got some close Coptic Orthodox people as well and their way of like promoting the lifestyle is more like relatable to a lot of people. Like I feel like we're like, the way Greeks do it is like, oh, you're all in or you're not. And as we know, that's never going to work. Like, even if we relate that to like a training thing, if you tell someone, oh, you're going to train 7 days a week or you're going to do nothing, they're going to do nothing. But if we can get them to do 1 or 2, we know eventually they'll go, oh, you know what, 3, maybe 4, perfect, right?
Yeah.
I think we don't give people enough of a taste. So I know for a fact the Coptics, they do. They have a lot of social gatherings. They do a lot of things that might be 10% religious, like as in they've got a religious factor to them, and slowly people like are almost brought into the faith. Like the way they treat their youth is great. It's completely different to how they treat our youth. Like in our youth, I know for a fact in Sydney, you know, it's a bit taboo if you're like, you know, if you're trying to find a partner, they're like, oh, you know, this isn't the place to do it at like a youth group. I completely disagree. I think,
well, where the fuck are you going to do it?
Exactly. You know what I mean? I think, you know, like at the end of the day,
where's the right and wrong place?
Yeah. Like to me, I think, you know, work on yourself and it will come. I truly believe that we've got like a path that's set out for us.
Yeah.
Like God's plan. I truly believe in that. But I'm saying, you know, part of that might be, hey, I'm going to these youth groups. I might find someone interesting. Sure. The Coptics really push that. They literally tell their groups. I've been to a few Coptic Orthodox youth groups and they tell their groups, you know, this is the place you should be trying to find someone. You're going to have the right values. You're going to have the right same sort of belief system. Probably, you know, with everything. Like there's so many issues down the line that come up if we don't support it. And I think, I don't know how it works here in Melbourne, but like Greek churches, like a lot of the old people, I know that they feel like it's all they've got left, but they try to like push the young people away. Oh, you know, this is how we do it, very like aggressive. And I understand that because Greeks are very like, in Europe, they're very straightforward, which is where a lot of these they've come from Europe. So they've always been like, it must be done this way, which is not how the world works now. But I feel like the Coptic's doing a great job. I think we need to work on that, definitely in the like Greek Orthodox faith. Mm-hmm. But I feel like we're getting better. Like, we've got more social gatherings and stuff like that. And because I actually go to a lot of youth groups in Sydney, and I've been to a few here in Melbourne as well, just to see what it's like. They just the talk sometimes just a bit too much. Like if you think of the mindset of someone my age or someone a little bit younger than me, let's say they're 22, they go to uni all day. They probably work a job as well. They go to uni and they work a job. So let's say 8 hours of their day they're doing shit. Yeah. No one wants to come to a talk at 8 p.m. that's going to be an hour and a half long. And yes, I get it's really important. It's about a saint or it's about something. But if it's not relatable, gone. Like I can't focus in a lecture, let alone an hour and a half at 8 p.m. So like changing the mindset of the groups is big. And I've got a few people who run different groups in Sydney. So, they've changed their talks to, maybe 30, 40 minutes. So then people can actually have the butt out after and go and have a chat. Oh, let's go to a dinner. Let's go to a coffee, whatever. Because I think that's a big, important part that we're missing. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at on that sort of youth group thing.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Just hold that thought.
Yeah, go.
See, on the flip side, so this is where my mind's at, and everything you're saying, 100% correct.
Yeah.
100%. But what changed my scope of religion? I think a lot of people think, well, there's a lot of things actually. I don't know where to start. But firstly, the fact that it's in Greek does make it a lot difficult, especially for our generation.
Yeah.
Now, I do know the Coptics don't do it in Coptic or Arabic or Greek. Now, traditionally, because it is Orthodox Christianity, which does mean basically original, it needs to be in Greek. But having said that, what's the trade-off there?
Yeah.
If you're doing it in Greek, we've got another generation that don't speak it as well. How much can they relate to it? It does make it a lot more difficult. Whereas other religions, or other like say use the Coptics for example, they do it in English.
Yeah.
So it does make it a lot more relatable for their their next generation. On top of that, they're obviously doing more youth groups and things of that nature. But another thing that we do that I think pushes us away from the church is we as Greeks play football heavily.
Yeah.
And we are involved in football clubs left, right and centre. I don't know what it's like in Sydney. I know there's great clubs, but in Melbourne,
it's big time.
It's fucked.
Yeah.
Like it is chaos. Like our top division has four clubs. Like a third of the teams are Greek.
Yeah.
The second division, somewhat the same. Yeah. Almost every division has at least 2 Greek clubs at the bare minimum, up until about the 5th tier. So when we talk about the children play on Sundays.
Oh.
Church also falls on Sunday.
Yeah.
Are the kids going to go play football or are they going to go to church?
I'd go to football. If I was a kid, football.
You know what I'm saying? So the involvement in the clubs that we have there, it's so heavy. And I didn't go to... Once I started playing soccer...
That was it.
How long am I going to church, man? Like, it coincides.
Yeah.
Kick off at 9 a.m. Then the year after it becomes 10 a.m.
Yeah.
The year after 11:15.
You're
then
hungry,
12.
whatever,
So
finish.
you literally have an area where you've got maybe a 5 to... Forget it, actually. Your entire juniors is fucking Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's literally all over. And you can't do the both. Unless you want to do churches leagues, but they're fucking shit quality anyway.
Yeah.
So that's all we fall into it.
Yeah.
But going back to my trip to Mount Athos.
Yeah.
And when I was saying we question the belief system, is this shit actually real? This one moment, bro. So with every monastery that we went to, I went to 7 in total for the day. I went to a Russian, Ukrainian, and then the rest of them were Greek. So I went to 5 other Greek ones. But in this one specific time, there was an entire Romanian group that were there on a tour, and they were just coincided with me. I was doing a one-on-one with just another guy, which is real cool. But with every church that we went to within the monastery, there was a certain iguana that, that was, sentimental to that actual church. So what we'd have to do is we'd enter the church and we'd all be in like a formal line.
And you like venerate
and we'd walk in and, we'd all get our moment to like pray and kiss it and do all this sort of stuff. And, I'm sitting there like I was saying, my involvement with the church was just very, very basic. Obviously living in a Western society, Orthodox Christianity isn't the main religion here. Not like, we're living in Serbia or Greece where everyone's doing it. So when like we celebrate it, the neighbors celebrating it, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like one of like, whatever you expose yourself to your family. So it was very minimal in regarding to what other cultures do. But this Romanian group, I was just observing them when they entered the church, bro. And like, they would get in there, they take a step, they do their stavro from ground all the way up, they do it 3 times, they'll bow down, they'll kiss. And I was just looking at them like, fuck, I've never seen this shit before.
Yeah.
And it took us, man, maybe 15 fucking minutes for me to get to see the icon, because these guys were taking a step every like 4 seconds because they were doing their cross. And I was like, whoa, bro, this is powerful. And then when I got to the icon and I saw these guys, bro, this guy was like fucking, like, it was like he couldn't control himself, bro. Like, I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it, but like he was kissing like the frame of the icon. He was on his knees, like must have done his cross 1,000 fucking times. It was just something I'd never seen before. And when I saw that, I was like, fuck.
Like that, it has to be like.
That shit's powerful, man.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is in full, like, what he was doing, I don't believe he had ever done before in his entire existence on the planet. The way, it was as if like there was some fucking energetic movement that was controlling his body. And I saw that and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
This shit's got to be real, man. And I mean, even if it's not real, the fact that there's something there that's energizing you to, I guess, be a better person.
Yeah, like where can you go wrong?
Exactly, bro.
Where can you go
exactly.
wrong?
Like people will claim like, science has fucking, debunked it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say that's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's say it's true.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and argue. I can't be fucking on back and forth with these guys, but say it's true. But can you argue that if you believe in it and it's keeping you in check and you're ensuring that, like if I'm going to do that, God might be watching.
Yeah.
So it's going to hold me back from doing right from wrong or doing the wrong. Even if science has fucking disproved it. If that one moment keeps you from doing the wrong, fuck science, bro. You just become a better person.
There's so many things that force me to like, obviously I have times where my faith's challenged, but there might be a quote or something that comes up. One of them that came up recently on TikTok is, I'm a big user of TikTok, obviously, love the app, and I've got that religious side of it. I think that's great for the whole religious path, but it's, it's reaching to a lot of people. There's one that goes about, you can not believe in this belief system, or you can, like, what's the alternative to it? 12 apostles made up this belief system where you and I are a better person because of it. And then they all died brutal deaths. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, that's like me, you, and 10 other guys all coming together and going, we're going to make this belief system. We're going to make a book about it. We're going to write about Jesus rising from the dead so that all these people make good, better decisions. And then we're all going to be murdered for it. Like, that doesn't process in my head. Yeah. Like, why would they do that? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. You got to be real fucking bored.
Yeah.
Or some hectic drugs. It doesn't make sense.
So like for me, sometimes it just clicks. It's like, there's something here. And to be fair, I'm still on my path. I'm still figuring it all out, but there's something there. There's something there. And I see it come in my life. And like one of the things I always go by is, your state right now, at least for me, my state right now is somewhere where I once prayed for. I remember, like, I used to pray, hey, God, please help me lose this weight or get this job or whatever. whatever it is, doesn't matter. We got to be more thankful for what we actually have and what we've been given. Like we just clock it because the society's now like, oh, I need this, I want it now, and you get everything now. So you forget, 2-3 years ago, you were praying that you were in this position, and now look where you fucking are, and we're still going, oh, what's the next thing I can get? Yeah. So we gotta recognize what's going on, and what we've been able to achieve, and I think I can achieve anything with him. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So it's really big in my life, and yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you bring that up, because although practicing gratitude's a very beautiful thing, reflection is also fucking pivotal, because that enables you. Because we can be grateful for this present moment, right? I'm grateful for this coffee.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for this conversation. Yeah. But if we reflect on where we've been and where we are now, that enables us to, I think, be in that present moment and not get too caught up in what's next, and because people can get caught up in that and create unhappiness within the present moment, because although they aren't where they want to be at in 5 years, they are where they wanted to be 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And if you don't practice on that reflection and pat yourself on the back to say, fuck, I was fucking 30 kilos heavier 3 years ago.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, that will make you feel good in that moment and not beat yourself up that you don't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a balance of both. Be proud of yourself, but at the same time, know that there is work to be done, because I guess ultimately that's what gets us up in the morning. But yeah, man, I see it a lot on TikTok, and I think it's beautiful. I think religion, and maybe we don't see it as much, like I was saying, because we don't live here in Australia, at least, we don't live in a world where it's heavily embarked on. We're a multicultural society, so we've got people from left, right, and centre, and a lot of people left of fucking centre. But I think the religious side of things I think it's growing more so. I think people are turning to it more. Definitely within my close circle of friends. Maybe we're at that age now, because my mates are baptizing their sons. They're getting married, and I believe that if you're going to get married under the church, you better know what the fuck you're doing. Don't just get married for the sake of, I want to get married. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, you're pissing in the fucking church's pocket. Like, what are you doing? Like, understand what the sacrament means, embrace it, and otherwise, if you truly did, the divorce rate wouldn't be what it is right now.
It's shocking, isn't it?
So
it's really bad.
I think people are turning more towards it. I certainly have. It's great to hear that you are as well. And there's no end goal. You're always constantly fucking learning. Like, even our parents, every day that someone steps in the next day in their life, they haven't lived that day. There's going to be something they learn.
Yeah.
So it's forever changing, but I think the fact that we are so far away from religion, in at least this culture, Western society, I think that has been a big downfall as to why things are just popping up left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Because people don't have the ability to, like, there's strict rules, bro.
Yeah.
And they're ancient rules, and we bring about like all this like left of center sort of stuff, like gays, lesbians, or whatever all that sort of stuff is. That just doesn't sit in any religious like kind of context, because it just doesn't work. So we fall away from that, and I think because we're falling away from that, we're fucking up our society, bro.
Yeah.
So like,
I do believe there's like a turn coming though, which is what you're saying. Like, I do believe that as crazier as the world is getting right now, we are seeing like a big shift in the religious community where people are going, no, like, we're sticking with this, which is good to see.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, everyone's going to find their path. Like you were saying, that's something that hit you, that you go, okay, like now, your mate had his kid and you were chosen to baptize him, which is a blessing, of course, but that was your trigger. I feel like everyone along their path will have a trigger.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have some sort of trigger. And whether you're going to take that trigger and actually, investigate, try and find out, that's up to you. but I believe everyone has something. And one of the quotes I go by is like, so the way I live my life is I might be the only Bible that someone reads. So through who I am, I have to show the faith as best as I can. Now, obviously, we're all going to do a terrible job of it, but that's the goal. Like, you know, if one of your mates, they might be gay, they might be whatever, you've got to, you know, we can't judge them, but I'm going to do everything in my power to show them, like, you know, this is what I believe, this is what I believe the truth to be. Because at the end of the day, you know, I don't know if you've heard of like Cliff. He's a very big preacher, very big preacher. I absolutely love all his stuff. You should check it out.
Yeah.
But he basically says, like, you know, say, Chris, like, you're my mate. Like, how bad would it be that one day we get to Judgment Day and that, you know, I'm going up to be judged and you're going, oh, Kosta, why didn't you tell me this was the truth? Why didn't you really push? Because, you know what I mean? Like, imagine that, you know, at the end of the day, I believe in eternal life through him. So what, like, your close mates who may not be religious, we're just going to let them rot. We're just going to, that's going to be the end of it to them. I just truly don't believe that we just die and switch off. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, there's got to be something. It doesn't make any sense. That, like, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to live my life as best as I can and try help out as best as I can. And hopefully through me, if I can change one person's life, sweet, job done.
All right, so people have had their turning point with religion, but you obviously had a turning point with health and weight loss. You were how many kilos heavier?
Yeah, peak was 133. That was the last one I seen on the scale that I was like, fuck.
And now you're sitting at what?
About 90. Yeah, between 85 and 90 is like where I just cruise.
43 kilos, man. So, like, let's just run through, like, what was that ding?
Yeah.
I've got to change my shit.
Yeah, so it actually comes to a bit of like the uni sort of side of things. So in Sydney, we've got the year 12 exams called like the HSC.
Yeah.
And back at the time, I was really good at IT. So I was like, you know, pumping that. And I remember, you know, I was on my bed and I've got like a mirror off the side, like off to the left. And the door must have rung or something like that. And I was playing COD at the time and I get up and I fucking see myself with the headset on. I looked in the fucking mirror. I was like, holy shit. Like, I was big boy, man. Like, you know, your guts out, whatever. And I was eating absolute shit at the time as well. But, you know, that night I came out, and as I said before, my dad's my biggest supporter. He lets me, you know, he's got the right idea of how to like push me in the right direction. But, you know, if I say, hey, I want to start a business or I want to fucking do whatever, he'll be there to fucking back me up, which is great. Like, you know, massive blessing that of him.
That's huge.
So I've basically gone to him, hey, you know I'm really good at IT. I had all these preferences out for IT. The way it works, you get 5 preferences for all the unis you want to fucking go to. And it was just IT. Because, you know, I was good at that shit. And don't get me wrong, I would have fucking killed it at that. But there was like a clicking moment in my head where I almost could see myself in the future. And I didn't like what I was fucking seeing. Like, it was, you know, I could see myself being good at the IT thing and working my way up there, probably making a shit ton of money. But at the end of the day, like, what's that worth if you're not happy with yourself, right? So, you know, I was super overweight. I could see myself being the same fucking position, just, you know, now working a 9 to 5 and, you know, making whatever money, wouldn't be able to chat to anyone. Like, I just fucking, and it got to my head. And I was like to him that night, I was like, look, I can't do IT. I was just told him, like, literally the night before they come out, all the preferences or the uni's offer, they'll send out offers to which you can pick or whatever. I literally changed everything to like sport, health, fucking literally just picking random, man. Like complete random. And I was like, whatever happens. Like, and Dad just supported it. He's like, you know what, whatever. Like, he's a doctor at the end of the day. So being in that sort of health space, I'm sure I would have landed on my feet somewhere. But yeah, I went down the sports science route eventually. And that's when I first started getting into training. So, and I feel like this is pretty common as well. Like, I've lost weight technically twice. I went from 133 to 95. And the first time was purely calorie counting and lifting and like, you know, a bit of cardio to like warm up and whatever. But that was the first time I lost weight. Bumped back up to 115. Can't tell you why. Just unsustainable for what I was doing, I guess. And then I dropped weight to 90, 85, around there. And now I'm just cruising. Like, it's been such a long time now that I've had to, like, I don't worry about what I'm eating, what I'm doing. I just train, eat, good fucking healthy food that I like eating. And, if I want to eat some shit or have a beer or have scotch, like, I just fucking do. Like, there's no up and downs anymore. I'm just cruising at this place, which is perfect, which I think is a big goal for everyone. So, yeah, that's where I'm at in terms of weight-wise. Yeah.
I think a lot of people do go back up because a few reasons. I think one, perhaps the weight loss was too quick for them to be able to handle. It's like what comes quick goes quick as well. And that hasn't come over a long enough period of time in which they've able to really, because you're a new person now.
Yeah.
Like everything about the way you live, your ideologies on life, it's not just you're 43 kilos lighter. You're fucking, walking through the supermarkets thinking completely different. You're putting on t-shirts differently.
Yeah.
Your outlook on life's different. I'm sure you're a fuck ton more confident.
Yeah.
Everything, bro.
Yep.
Like, it's not just a number that is on the scale. Like, if your mood's probably better, you're more likely to fucking travel. You're more likely to travel, you're more likely to go see a new person. You're more likely to see a new person, you might get married. Like, it's just a flow-on effect of so much more than just a number.
Yeah.
And, it's very, very normal for that to happen. You can't just quit smoking. You may quit and then pick up another pack of cigarettes a month later.
Yeah.
But it's not quitting. And, you went up and you went back down and now you're really accustomed to a new person. And embodying that does take time to embrace, man. It's not easy, man. Like, you probably don't even speak to some people that you used to speak to when you were heavier. I'm just throwing guesswork out there because you're a different person. Like, you really change who you associate with because it's not just a number, it's everything.
Yeah, it's part of me now. Like, the whole fitness thing is a big part of me.
Yeah.
Anyone who asks, they're like, they know I fucking train and they know I care about it and I like pushing myself to the limit with everything. Like,
But we wouldn't be talking right now.
No.
43 kilos ago, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Because you're in a different headspace. But on the contrary to that, if I was 43 kilos ago, but I'm working towards my goals, that's something I'd say you'd fucking support. You know 100%. What I mean? There's a different 100%. Mindset. If I'm there saying, I'm fucking happy, firstly, being in that position, I'm telling them if they're fucking bullshitting. But if I see someone, if one of my mates, gets a bit on that side, I'll tell them. If they're a mate of mine, I'll fucking go and tell them, girl or guy.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? They've got to be close enough to me and know that I actually give a shit about them enough that I'm going to tell them, hey, try to focus on this. Like, if they want to get angry at me, they might fucking get angry. But that change, and I'm lucky I had I'm a big believer in keeping your circle fucking close. I had a good couple friends who, maybe it was fucking a bit of bullying. But it pushed me to go, I'm going to prove you fucking wrong and I'm going to get there. And I did. You know what I mean? So
that's huge, bro.
Yeah, you got to keep those people in your life as much as it might suck at the start. Just they're doing it for your own good.
Yeah.
And being that weight compared to now, you get treated differently. Like guys and girls. Like I don't 100%. Care what anyone says.
You would know of all people.
Yeah, man. Like you get looks, you get from both ends. Like I was getting looks when you're fat and you're ordering fucking all this food. They're like, what's this guy doing? Right? But same now, if I walk through a club or whatever, or a fucking bar or Woolies, even Woolies, mate, you got, good looking girls looking around because you're fucking, you're in shape, you're tall, you're whatever. You just wouldn't get that when you're on the flip side. It's not at all, man. Yeah. So people say it doesn't exist. It does fucking exist.
No, man. It's literally fucking ingrained in our DNA that the woman is going to want a taller man that's in shape because she might think, like he's a sexy cunt.
Yeah.
But really what's going on in her brain is saying, this cunt's got good genes. He
Yeah.
can protect me.
He's athletic. He fucking
And
yeah.
my offspring are going to be have a better chance
Yeah.
of being a more physically fit human being.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to the slob,
Yeah.
you can't protect me.
No.
I'm not attracted to that. Like this dad bod bullshit that people talk
No,
about.
no.
That's the biggest load of crap.
I was arguing with someone about this fucking last
No
night,
shit.
man. I was like, that is she's a girl, so I was just like, that is such shit, man. I don't care what anyone says.
So she was arguing for it.
She was like, oh, it's actually not that bad. And I was like, yes, it fucking is. Because I don't know if you've seen those like edits. What they think is a dad bod isn't a fucking dad bod. It's like some guy who's in the off season of his fucking bodybuilding prep. He's like a bit fucking, he's a bit fluffy, right? But he's jacked. Like, that's what they think a dad bod is. Like a true dad bod is like, to me, is bigger. Like,
Yeah.
and no one's liking that. The guy doesn't fucking like it. She doesn't like it. Like, just BS, man. Just BS.
It is.
So,
It is.
we were going back and forth on it, but, you know.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious.
Literally last night, it was great.
Yeah,
But,
This quote I came across was a weak man gets offended by the truth and a strong man gets offended by a lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I resonated with that hard because me and amongst my mates, I'm that guy that I just say whatever the fuck it is. Like if whether it's like, and it's typically like against the grain because I just speak so much truth that I can't fucking handle it. And, you know, touching on what you said, like I'm doing a disservice to my mates if I'm telling them fucking lies, sugarcoating shit to make them feel better, make them feel better about themselves. Nah, man.
Fuck that, eh?
None of that bullshit, bro. They need to be told.
Yeah.
Because one way or another, whether it's not me, life is going to tell you.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the lines, man. Like, you know, you go through school thinking you're this and then you get out into the real world and it's like, well, how come I don't have a job? Or how come this chick ain't talking to me? Or how come I can't make this footy team? Whatever it might be. It's not going to happen that way. So I think that's very important.
Yeah.
So you've dropped your weight.
Yeah.
Now you're skipping.
Yeah.
Well, you're skipping to lose weight. Like, tell us the journey of this, the skipping sort of stuff.
So the skipping thing came in completely random. Like, as I said, I've had 2 weight losses and one that, you know, now that I'm where I'm at now, I just fucking maintain. But the first one was obviously lifting and calorie counting. The second one was skipping and fucking, you know, a bit of lifting here and there and just eating good fucking healthy food. Intuitively eating. Like I had a good estimate of what I was eating.
Yeah.
Not having a count, just, you know, sort of living life. And because I was doing so much fucking cardio, like realistically I could eat a shit ton of food, which is great. But the skipping thing came out of literally complete random. So as I said, I was big into lifting. I was actually training to go into a powerlifting meet. You know, I just liked the sport. When I got into lifting, you know, I didn't really resonate too much with the bodybuilding. I just didn't really care. I just wanted to be fucking strong and lean. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to try powerlifting. And as I was training for my prep, like I was training, just out of random, they don't actually know why this thing happens, but my appendix ruptured. So, which is mostly the most fucking painful thing I've ever done is my appendix rupture.
While training?
Nah, like, mate, I was at home. It was during the first COVID. I don't know how big it was in Melbourne, but it was fucking big in Sydney. Like,
Melbourne was the worst.
You guys are lockdown, eh? You guys are fucking...
Bro, we were the worst in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, mate, it was during that sort of spot. So my dad's a doctor, so he was essential worker. So he was still at work going, whatever. But like, I felt a bit off in the morning, like fucking, I don't know, like constipated or whatever. Like you felt like shit. And by the end of the day, like when dad came home, like 6, 7, I was on the couch, like full body convulsions. I was like, I could not control myself. He was like, you know what, like, he knew I wasn't big into like needles and fucking whatever, but he was like, nah, hospital. So he took us to the hospital, and I was on the floor of the hospital for like fucking so long. Holy shit! Like I was actually losing my mind, literally on the floor. They must have thought I was on drugs or some shit, and like they were like, this guy's fucked. But they eventually brought me in, and because it was COVID, this is the fucked up thing. Because it was COVID, this is before they knew what it was. They didn't want any like non-essential surgeries. So because
Yeah.
they were dealing with so many fucking cases of whatever. They were sending everyone home. So they tried to send me home with antibiotics. Now, my dad used to work in the trauma ward. So he's like very smart with what he fucking does. Like he knew everyone at the fucking hospital, which was another story as well. But yeah, they took me into this room. They tried to send me home with antibiotics. My dad's like, nah, not happening. Because he knew like it was fucked. Like he knew it was an appendix straight off the rip. Like didn't even have to check. And then he was like, nah, like it's not, like he knows I'm not a bitch with it. So he's like, I'm not messing around. So he literally refused when they were like, oh, send him home, antibiotics, he'll be sweet. Anyways, so he starts pulling his strings because he fucking used to work on that ward. And they eventually like found me a bed, whatever. And I ended up getting operated on first thing in the morning. And the doctor that first tried to send me away was like so apologetic because she's like, oh, I'm really sorry. It's really bad if an appendix happens, like appendicitis, but if it ruptures, because it's like part of your intestines, all that like processed shit fucking can go all over your organs. And if it goes all over your organs, you get heart defects, fucking lung defects. Like you can actually die from it. It just fucking goes, yeah. So, yeah, I ended up getting operated on. And, yeah, while I was there, firstly, I hadn't been to hospital in my life, like, other than fucking when I was born. So I ended up being in the nurse in the room, and I was fucking high on every drug that they gave me because it was so painful. Which, as someone who's not a drug, like, I've never tried drugs in my life, never will. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking enjoy it. So I was fucking high as shit, man. And like I realized, it was funny. I actually realized.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, you want to check? I actually realized they fucking, they were giving me like, I guess morphine or whatever it was.
It'd be endone and morphine.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah. They were giving that, right? And I knew I was a big guy. Like I was maybe 115 at this point. I knew I was a big guy. So I was like, you know, I realized their only gauge was similar to like a physio where you go and they're like, oh, do you still feel it? Is it still painful? Oh, continue. So the gauge for the morphine, whatever it was, like I was like, I'm never going to try drugs in my life, but you know, whatever. I'm at this fucking hospital now. So I just kept going. They're like, oh, do you feel pain? At this point, I felt fucking nothing. But I was like, yeah, I just want to see what limit they would put me on.
Yeah.
It was like 4 or 5 after, they had to start getting other doctors to come and see. And they're like, I remember the last doctor came in was like, nah, he's a big boy. He'll be right. So they were just pumping me with morphine. And there was these two, like, a lot of nurses are like Irish, English. Mind you, they were both fit as, so I was just hitting on them while I'm fucking out of it. Which my dad's fucking loving. He's sitting in the corner of the room watching me hit on every fucking nurse that comes in. You'll love this point as well. Fucking one of the things they got to check for when you go to get appendicitis, right, is for a guy is a twisted testicle, right? So they're like, one of these fit nurses goes in to go, oh, you need to get checked for this. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, I'm going to go get the doctor. And I was like, this is what I said to her. You're going to fucking love it. Honestly, I go, oh, like, what doctor? And he's like, oh, Doctor fucking whatever his name is, Chan or whatever. It was a guy's name. I was like, nah, high shit. I was like, nah, because they're going to go up and grab your balls. I was like, nah, you better get a fit female doctor. I said, I'm not fucking gay. She goes, what the fuck? I was just like, I'm not fucking gay. God out of it. I couldn't, man. I honestly couldn't. But yeah, fuck. The guy did end up coming in and checking for my fucking twisted testicle, which it wasn't. We were sweet on that point.
Okay.
But yeah, I fucking ended up going into the hospital and whatever. And yeah, I ended up getting operated on the next morning. And you have to stay there for like a week, man. Like after. I was so keen to get out of the fucking hospital. Shit food and whatever. Like, fuck the hospital. Like,
yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, man. Unless there's a hot nurse around, like, fucking keep me that shit out of it. But, yeah, when I was sitting in the hospital, I was talking to the doctor and he's like, oh, yeah, so what do you do? Like, I was like, oh, I'm, you know, on this weight loss journey. I'm big into lifting and whatever, right? And he's like, oh, you're probably not going to be able to lift. And I was like, oh, for like how long? And this bloke said 6 months because of the way the way they cut, whatever the fuck they did. 6 months is huge. Like, mate, I've just lost a bunch of weight. I'm thinking 6 months, that's just going to fuck me. I'm gone. Like, out the window, going to lose all my progress, whatever. So that was just not an option in my head. I was like, nah, not happening. So the first time I've gone out of that office, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm laying there in bed, and there's this guy called Jimmy. Jimmy Says Relax on Instagram, and he does some like fucking cool shit with the rope, man. Like, he was one of the first guys I seen, and I literally showed my dad the video, and my dad thought it was like CGI or some shit. Like, he's like, this guy's whipping the rope left to right. Like, it looks fucking like it's not possible. You're like, what the fuck? Like, obviously now the community is kind of big. Like, there's a big jump rope community out there, but like some of the shit we do is like, it looks like you're like, nah, that's fucking fake. Which a lot of his comments were. They're like, oh, you know, fake. But I showed my dad the video and I was like, I'm going to fucking do this. And as I said before, my dad fucking supports it. So he's like, fucking oath, let's go. And literally, yeah, so the doctor said you can either skip or run. Now, I do run now. But at the time, like, you're not fucking paying me to run anywhere. I'm running to the fridge and the fucking couch. That's about it. Like, fuck nothing else, man.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'll give this skipping thing a try. I doubt the doctor thought I was going to do what I'm fucking doing now. But it literally came by chance, man. And then, obviously, like, skipping is really efficient calorie burn-wise. So, you know, I was doing, like, I'm addicted. Like, I've got an addictive personality. Anyone who knows me knows, like, when I fucking set out to do something, I'm going to do it, right? So,
good man.
I was skipping for, like, 2-3 hours a day, just, like, trying to learn every fucking trick I could, watching every video, screen recording shit, and playing it back in slow-mo just so I could achieve what I'm watching on YouTube and fucking Instagram, whatever. And so I... Slowly, I realized there's this like community out there, and we're all just supporting each other. They're like, and there's some really big cunts in there now. Like, they're really grown up, but yeah, we were all just like, oh, it was purely the whole page just came out of you know, me, and we're both into like fitness or whatever. We're supporting, oh, nice post, or you know, you should try this, you should try that. That's literally how it started. And now, you know, I run my business through it, and you know, I teach jump rope online, and I use it in everything I do now. Like, it's opened up such a world for me that I didn't think was possible, and I had no intentions of delving into. Like, I knew I was always trying to do a business of some sort. Like, that's where my mind's at. Yeah. Because it's just like, it's a mindset for me. I can't see myself working a 9 to 5. Like, my mindset for life is, and it's complete flip to what most people do in their 20s. Most people in their 20s are like, you know, I want to travel, I need to live my life, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll get a 9 to 5 and work till I'm fucking 60. That sounds awful to me. Like, no offense, you want to do that, sure. But for me, I'm going to work as much as I fucking can right now, pursue every fucking business I can till I'm 30, 35, and then go, you know what? Me and my fucking wife and my kids, we're going to go travel the world, and while you're all working your 9 to 5s, I'm going to be doing this. So that's my mindset. So I knew somewhere around all the time, like, I was going to do some sort of business. No idea it was going to be skipping. No idea it was going to be into fitness. Like, if you asked me 10 years ago, I'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, no chance. Yeah.
That's hectic.
Yeah.
So you create content by just doing a whole bunch of tricks, skipping.
Yeah.
People just started gravitating towards that because it's cool to watch. And now you coach people, you sell rope. Like, how does it all work exactly?
Yeah. So I basically coach online as well. So I've got, you know, one-on-one clients that I teach through like Zoom, FaceTime, and whatever. But big for me is like selling the ropes. Like, I got my own brand of ropes, and they're you know, they're good quality ropes that when you start, it's a really confusing experience. And I sometimes have to pull myself back to when I started, but it's like there's all these different types of ropes and like different rope sizes, and one video tells you this, another video tells you this, and then you've got a Reddit that says do this, like rope size, what type to use, and all this. So eventually, now that I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but you know, I'm getting to that stage where I know a good amount of jump rope. I'm sort of like, I know what's a good rope and why to use a certain thing and how to learn a different trick. So I'm just like trying to educate that beginner community. You know, it's not as hard as people think to get into. Like, if you look online, people like they actually just can't jump rope at all. Like even just basic.
Well, it's rhythm, man.
Yeah, it's
I've
rhythm.
seen it at the boxing gym.
Yeah.
I see like a newcomer, I'm like, holy shit, bro! Like
They just can't.
they're literally like just slapping the ground.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and
like
but
elephants.
But it is confusing at the start. To be fair, like people sometimes get their rope height wrong and all sorts of shit. Like, mate, if you've seen the ropes that I use like the shortest fucking rope. Like I can use a rope that's like up to my hip if I have to. People like their hands all over, and then there's so many different tutorials and everything it's so conflicting that you almost get paralysis
by analysis.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Fucking
like
hell.
too
I
much.
actually was saying that this morning.
Yeah, like you just get too much, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
people just overthink, and it's like, fuck it. I just want to give them the easiest content that they can consume so they can go and learn. And, you know, for me, it's like, you know, okay, if you're whether you're into boxing or you're into fitness, I think jump rope's great. Like, yeah, so I'm just providing ropes, providing coaching, and, you know, eventually an online course is probably where I'm going to go down. But, yeah, just trying to educate those beginners. And look, there's so many different styles. Like you can go just down the boxing route. A lot of boxers follow me because they want to learn all the boxing footwork. But I also have like the freestylers who just want to learn all the cool tricks, which is where realistically I came from. More of the freestyle. I just saw, you know, it looks like dancing realistically. It's dance rope is what they call it. And I think that's sick. So yeah, that's where I'm basically going. And now I literally do that as my job. So it's come out of nowhere and fucking sick.
Blow your appendix.
Yeah.
The doctor's giving you like this fucking red alert. I can't lift weights.
Yeah.
And you're weighing up your options. You start skipping, and here you are teaching other people how to skip, which is cool in itself, man. Because like when I skip, I lose myself. I put tunes on, and I'm almost like dancing to it, and I put specific type of music that will like coincide with, you know,
the rhythm of your fucking feet and shit.
Correct, man. Like I've even gone down to the beach, right?
Yeah.
And I'll just skip and just look out to the horizon, and I'm just like in this like euphoric place where it's just absolutely amazing. Where I'm dancing, I'm training. It doesn't feel like I'm training.
Yeah.
I'm in the sun. I'm literally just killing like 50 birds with one stone.
Yeah.
And I love it, man. I love it. Like for me, I don't look at it as like I'm going to go train. And I think that's what people probably gravitated towards the most. Much like yourself, you're having fun whilst working out and you're doing more than just, I'm just going to go train. And they're probably fucking hating that.
Yeah.
Like we had this thing called jump rope for heart.
Yeah, I remember that shit. Fucking
in primary school.
Yeah, like ages ago, man.
And we were made to do skipping for I don't know how long it was, but it was like this, you know, thing the government pushed out to get the kids healthy and active. I don't know if they still do it.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
But yeah, I remember doing that in primary school, man, as a young guy.
Yeah. So, you know, a big thing that you say is why people gravitate is because they're not focused on like, oh, I have to skip for 40 minutes. They're like, I want to learn this trick. And they end up skipping for 40 minutes.
Yes.
So they're not fucking, you're in a different mindset. You're like, sweet, I'm burning so many fucking calories. Like, as I was saying, I was doing like 2-3 hours. This was during COVID, like lockdown and shit. Like, sweet, I'm just learning tricks. Like, at that point, it's just fun. It's just fun. Like, fitness is fun, and that's what it should be. You should try and find something that you like. That's why I don't push like any certain, oh, you have to do this, you have to skip, or you have to lift, or whatever. Find something that you like, and just be consistent with it.
Yeah.
Get good at it. It might be football, it might be basketball. I love those sports as well, but like for me, there's like skipping's always going to be part of me now, you know? So I'm a big believer in finding what you like to do, and just fucking go for it, man. Like push yourself.
That's actually a real cool story, man. And the beauty thing, I love that it just flipped out of nowhere. Yeah. It's not like it was a plan. You gave it a crack. People gravitated towards you, and you know you're living off it now, man. You're creating value for people all across the world, providing them not only fucking actual equipment, but you know a means to an end. In like that story in itself, man, is like more people should know that.
Yeah,
more people should know that because there's people out there that are probably thinking, "Fuck, like how do I get there?" Or they probably look at you and think, you know, how did he just get that?
Yeah.
and they might be 43 kilos heavier than what they should be, and that's, I think, a take-home message to everyone. Like, don't think about what's to come in 10 years. Just fucking lose some weight.
Yeah.
Like you were saying to me, like, where do I want to take it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is I'm putting some effort out there.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a crack. I'm providing value.
Yeah.
Now, what opportunities arise from that? Fuck knows.
We'll find out.
You know what I mean?
Hopefully something comes, but
opportunities will come.
They will.
I know they will, so long as I continue to work.
Yeah.
Now I can just pick and choose what I want out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And if they suit my agenda,
sweet.
Fabulous. If they don't, I brush them aside and I just keep doing the work. And the same to you. What's to come? Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck, man.
Right now you've obviously got something steady that's happening, but mate, tell you this 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you're like, kidding yourself, bro.
Yeah, no chance.
I would have been an IT nerd, man.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
100%. Which, don't get me wrong, if you're an IT nerd, fucking sweet. I still think you should give it a crack at fitness, but yeah, fully get it, man.
Yeah.
You just got to push yourself and find out what happens.
You know what's some cool shit that you should do, man? You should fucking take your jump rope. I don't know if you've done this. Bro, you should go to the Acropolis.
Yeah, fuck.
Go skip on that.
Yeah.
Go get a mad video of it. Go to the pyramids in Egypt.
Yeah.
Go to the fucking ancient wonders of the world.
Skipping fucking
bro,
around the world.
That would be sick,
trip.
man.
Yeah.
Have you had because I've seen you do your skipping and you had the Greek flag and stuff.
Yeah.
How many people or how many Greeks have gravitated towards that?
So many comments.
Was that purposeful?
No, man, I have it because...
You just had it there because
my gym's just mate, I've got religious stuff up there. It's fucking sick. I got all these cool flags. I think it's sick. It motivates me when I'm training. And I posted, you're right. I posted one with the Greek flag, even one with a corner of the flag. And one of the videos just hit and there's fucking so many comments in there that are written in Greek. And it's one of us and whatever. They're really, as we said before, they're really fucking proud.
Yeah.
So they gravitate towards that. So
I did this video, bro. I just mocked myself up. I was just soccer training.
Yeah.
I think it's A-roll type of camera sort of shit.
Yeah.
You're in it, but you're not actually. Anyway, I'm having this combo with the boys, right? And we're talking about souvlakia in Oakley.
Yeah.
And we're talking about this souvlaki shop does it on the charcoal. This one does it with the upwards rotisserie.
Yeah.
Bro, this thing went fucking bananas. It had nothing to do with fitness and nothing.
Yeah.
People are sending it, commenting their opinions.
Yeah.
All we're talking about is which fucking souvlaki shop is the best.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hilarious because Greeks are like that, man.
Yeah.
They see one thing Greek. I'm the same.
Yeah.
They gravitate towards it. They send it around and it's just bananas, man.
And they're very opinionated. They're like, nah, my shop's better than yours. Fuck off this
Literally,
shop.
those are the comments, bro.
Yeah, it's fucking...
getting defensive. No affiliation to the shop. They're just customers.
They're just like, nah, my guys are better. My guys are better.
Relax a bit, man.
Yeah. No, it's actually, I'm pretty sure I've seen one of your videos is about the suvos and whatever. Which you bring up as well in your content all the way.
Yeah. Now people are asking me bro, which one, that. I got no affiliation with any of them.
Yeah, mate. Ask for that sponsorship. Let's go.
Man, fuck, mate.
That's what you're gonna do.
Absolutely hilarious. Even guys have messaged me hey, man, I went and checked it out. It's fucking pretty good, man.
Yeah, fucking oath, man. That's sick.
I go, mate, I've traveled the world, and I'm telling you, in my opinion, the souvlakia here, they destroy the ones in Greece. The ones in Greece, they're good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I hate it when people come back and they're like, oh, the souvlaki is so much better there.
Yeah.
You're just fucking high on your holiday, mate.
Yeah.
I'm a connoisseur.
Yeah.
I know what's fucking.
Yeah, we're eating that fucking week to week, mate. That's part of your diet.
Yeah, I know what's a good souvlaki.
Yeah, 100%. Which, to be fair, is why I get drawn to your content because you're just raw with everything. You're I think the first video I've seen, it was it was something about a Wednesday, and you're oh, it's my favorite fucking day of the week.
That one went bananas.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I was like, this cunt just fucking goes out and does his shit, posts his content. I think he did you did your prayer, you fucking trained. I was and then he's going to get a souvlaki. I was like, mate, I fucking resonate with this bloke. Following him right now, and then you're just so raw with it that I think a lot of Greeks should fucking pull into what you're saying because you can help a lot of the whole Greek community and more that Balkan sort of side because as you know, the food that we eat is fucking, if we're talking high calorie, like, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the shit we eat, but you've weaved it into your life that you can still enjoy your shit and stay fit and still do your coaching. And I think people need to gravitate towards that because they don't want to feel like they're giving up one thing for another.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm giving up my servos, but now I'm fit. And then they go back in and out.
Yeah.
Whereas you just fucking doing it all, which is sick.
Yeah.
So raw with your content, which is what I gravitate towards. I think that's sick.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I just say it how it is.
Yeah.
And it's just the raw form. There's no bullshit approach. And, you know, you got your lovers, but you got your haters. Like yourself, man. Like, I don't think you can... You got to truly be yourself. Yeah. Ultimately, I believe. You can't fucking put on this facade on the internet.
Yeah, because how long are you going to fucking maintain it?
Yeah. It's like you meet people online or you meet them in person and then you've seen what they do online and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck are they?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, how does that even fucking resonate, man? Just be yourself because people gravitate to your personality. You can't be anyone else, man.
Yeah.
You can't 100%. Be anyone else. Like, I
be.
don't put on shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know there's people that love me.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny within the soccer community. Like, everyone within our club loves me.
Yeah.
I'm basically that guy that if you play with me, you love me. You play against me, you fucking hate me.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Then you come to my club and then you end up loving me.
I know exactly what you're talking
about.
Like that.
It's not like you're a bad person,
but if you're playing against them, they're low-key like, fuck, I've got to play him again.
Yeah,
like,
man. Yeah.
He's a pain in the ass. But
Absolutely.
if you play with him, you're like, fucking sweet.
Yeah.
It'll be a pain in the ass to them. Yeah.
Correct. You understand.
Yeah.
So what's your plan, man? Like, where do you want to take this sort of thing? I know it's a tough question, but like...
Yeah, fuck, man. Like, honestly, as I said, I still coach at a school, so I'm still doing that because I just enjoy it. And I enjoy teaching the boys, like, you know, like that sort of... I could never give up the winner's mentality. I love fucking playing. Like, basketball is my main sport, but I also coach football. And I love like living through the boys. Like as much as I'm not playing, like I play club recreationally because I fucking love the sports. But I mean, as much as I'm not doing it anymore, I love living through them. Their success, I fucking feel it, man. I love it. Like
it's important, bro.
As much as I coach basketball and football, and I love both, I prefer playing basketball. But in terms of coaching, I fucking love coaching football. Like, I love it. When they score a fucking goal, I feel it's an unmatched mood.
Yeah.
Unmatched mood, man. Like, any of my boys score a goal, I'm fucking up celebrating. Like, the parents are like, this coach is fucking nuts. But, you know, like, they could be 12 years old and I'd be like, fucking oath, like, not swearing at the school, you know what I mean? But, like, I'm supportive of them, which is, like, it's sick to see. So I'm still coaching there. End goal for me is, like, as I say, I'm taking life as it comes. Like right now, I'm just working hard and working on my business. And, you know, the end goal would be to move more to that fitness space, which I haven't really cracked yet. I'm doing, you know, a lot of the jump rope stuff, but I mean more to like I want to help people go from, you know, make those big transformations, but through, you know, with an element of skipping, an element of gym, a bit of a mix, like whatever they find. But I want to go down that route because I feel like I can help more people doing that. Like right now I'm just helping like boxers and people who are interested in skipping. I want to go down the route of like pulling people like me or me 5 years ago out of that shithole and where they can be now, where, you know, that's why I really resonate with like, you know, your views on diet, your views on fucking training and stuff and just living. That's where I want to move people towards. So I want to move them into a new fitness mindset. So that's the end goal. You know, I don't really care too much about the money side of things, whatever. Like, as long as I'm being able to maintain myself and you know, pay for what I want and fucking live somewhere, like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'd love to pull like thousands of people out from this life that is just trash, man. And people are wasting their lives, man. They're like I'm 25 now. They're fucking, I know so many people like that are like 25, 26, 27. They're just wasting their life. You're in your prime fucking years. Like, I mean, you'll be in shape for as long as you, like, mate, for life.
Mate,
you know what I mean?
I'll be dead.
Yeah,
I'll be dead in the gym.
100%.
I'll be dead fit. Like
100%. And that's where I want them to get to. Like, mate, I was walking my dog the other day, and there's this is this guy called Tom Dean, some Indian bloke, some famous cricketer from fucking ages ago. The guy's like 90, 92 or something. I was like, there's no fucking chance. This guy's like, looked like maybe 70. And he was active, walking his dog every day, coherent, knew what the fuck was going on. Like, how many 90-year-olds do you see doing that? At least not here in Western society. Like, you just don't. That's a life goal. Like, you know, when I'm done skipping, when I'm fucking 60, like, mate, I've got customers who are fucking like 75. Like, I'm 75, I jump rope every day. Mate, I'll do it till the day I die if I have to. Like, but I want to be able to live that life and continue it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever my outlet is, I'm always going to be in the gym, always going to be doing something like, whether it's lifting, skipping, coaching, there's going to be some sort of aspect of fitness around my life for the rest of my life. So, yeah, it's brought me so much, so I can only just try and give back to what it's brought me.
Yeah, well, your story is fucking powerful, man. It's super powerful, and I think a lot of people do resonate with stories. You know, it brings an emotional side out, and there's a lot of people that, you know, hopefully listen to this and watch this and, you know, embrace your journey and think, fuck, it's possible. Because it is.
Yeah.
It is, man. It absolutely is. Like, fuck, man. I'm not saying it wasn't easy.
Yeah, no, definitely not easy.
But it's not impossible.
Yeah.
And once you break that limiting belief, it's like, fuck, man. Like, I wish I'd done this earlier.
Yeah.
Like, I just had a boxing fight a couple of weeks ago, and people are like, man, like, you got in the ring and shit. I'm like, yeah, like, what's a big deal?
Yeah.
But I thought it was a big deal a year and a half ago before I started training. Now I'm just like, oh, whatever, man.
Just whatever.
I had a fucking fight. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, I should have another one. And I had that limiting belief, put the pen to paper, trained, knocked it out, and now, you know, I'm this new person, just like you're this new person who's just broken out of this shell, and now it's part of your life, now it's part of my life, and you would never be able to turn back. And, you know, people that are overweight or have never done a fight or whatever the hell it is that they want to achieve or they think they can't achieve, bro, you just
got to jump in, mate. Fuck.
Literally jump
in. That's it.
That's fucking huge, man.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, man. I think that's all we've got time for, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I'd love to do this again.
Yeah, fucking hell. That'll be come through.
I'm seeing a bird that's from Sydney, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
So I might have to jump up there.
Sounds good, mate.
I was actually hit up by this other guy that's in Sydney that does a podcast, and he's like,
Really?
bro, let's fucking have a chat. So
100%.
there's no reason. I've never been to Sydney.
Yeah, really.
I've never been to Sydney, so I've got good reasons to come down now, man.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, man, good to chat with you. And
100%.
fuck, man, this will be the first of many.
100%.
You're
Let's
sick,
do it, bro.
man.
Keen.
Legend.